Welcome back to the Hemp Lucid podcast. My name is Chase, and I'm really excited about today's episode. We're going to be diving into gut health, and I wanted to bring on an expert today, somebody I've known for 12, 15,
I want to say 10.
Okay.
10 plus years.
Okay, 10 years. This is Debbie. She is one of my favorite people on earth. I absolutely love her. I've learned so much from her.
Right back at you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, Debbie, thanks for coming onto the show.
Thanks for having me.
And educating us on all of your wisdom. So,
let's make it clear, I didn't call myself an expert.
Yeah, she is an expert, and I think everyone will agree after we're done with this conversation. So, thanks for being here. And if you just want to give us a little bit about yourself and kind of what set you on this path of health, wellness, and I guess eventually morphing into like your expertise on herbalism.
Sure. So when I was raising kids, I still have one at home, so I guess I'm not done. But when I was raising kids, my second daughter, she just was really sick, and couldn't get her the help that she needed. We went to the best gastroenterologists, and I think that's a word. Mm-hmm. I don't think I said it quite eloquently.
GI doctor.
But she missed like 2.5 months of school that year. Cumulatively, she was throwing up and diarrhea and just like egg burps, as she would explain them, just nausea, bile all the time. And we couldn't get any answers. And it was the first time in my life I'd really like questioned a doctor because they said, well, she's got sores in her gastrointestinal system and she's got like bile where it shouldn't be. And they just wanted to keep her on Prilosec for the rest of her life. And I'm like, well, that doesn't sound right. Like, no. And so, the word GMO kept coming to my brain over and over and over and over. And I'm like, I don't know where I had heard it. And in retrospect, I think I heard it from my sister, but like, it just kept like, I kept thinking, I've got to look that up. And so I looked up GMOs, and it was from that day forward that we switched to 100% organic diet. And the diet varied from there, but we were eating all sorts of garbage still, as long as it was organic. There was still cereal, there was still cookies, there was still chips. Yeah. As long as it was organic and we were avoiding genetically modified foods, it was still fair game. And then, went down the vegan, vegetarian route. It avoided more sugar. Not on that route anymore. Do believe meat is a part of a healthy diet, but anyway, she got better. We switched our diet and she got better, and I got better. I was dealing with all sorts of things like constipation, arthritis, daily headaches, things like that. And that all switched around when we switched our diet. So then that just sent me down a rabbit hole of like just becoming voracious for all the things that I wanted to know about my health. And I started working at Good Earth as a wellness counselor. When I started there, I started going to the School of Natural Healing and became a master herbalist. After I got my master herbalist, I did their homeopathy, reflexology, and aromatherapy courses.
Wow.
Study, other things along the way. I just actually this week finished another herbalism course, an alchemic herbalism course, which is a whole different animal of herbalism. It's been 4 years in the making. Wow. But I'm finally finished. And so, it's just this health and wellness is a lifetime journey. Right. You learn new stuff every day. My customers teach me stuff every day. There's not a day that people don't come in that they're dealing with something that I've never heard of or asking for something I've never heard of. So you're just learning every single day. And we're so unique and different and diverse that it's just like the problems, the things will never end.
Oh yeah.
So just looking for new stuff. But now I'm the wellness manager for the 7 stores, the 7 Good Earth stores, which is a health food supplement store. And I train all the apprentices and wellness counselors, hopefully get them to where they can offer help and solutions to people that are looking for it as well. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I love Good Earth. Like I have such a
You're
special,
there all the time.
yeah. I'm pretty sure I pay some of their utilities at their Orem location with how often I'm in there.
I know the pain.
Love Good Earth.
They're a good company.
Yeah, totally. And
Great
I think
place to work.
That's what's so awesome about Good Earth and like what they've been able to set up is like the wellness counselors. Because it's like you can't really, like that doesn't really exist in, let's say the big box health food stores. There's not really like people in there specialized to help you with like specific ailments. But it's like, Todd and the owner and the structure of, the way he's seemed to have set up the company is like a lot of emphasis on that. Yeah. Which I like just absolutely appreciate. And, you guys have helped me with, some of my issues. Yeah. And it's been a educational journey with like the growth of my business in Good Earth. And then, just running, like speaking to all you health counselors, wellness counselors over the years. It's been fun to like just kind of pick your guys' brains, and all of you kind of specialize in certain areas of health and wellness, and it's been a real treat to like be on kind of this journey with Good Earth as they've grown and expanded and like just created new programs. So
it's a fun place to work, and it can be overwhelming because you get people that want you to know everything and get kind of irritated when you don't have all the answers. Right. But when I started there, I thought, and I pass this on to the apprentices that I'm training, that it's like, if you can help someone today, one person, and learn something today that helps someone tomorrow, that's like all you can ask for in your job. Don't feel like you have to know it all right now. This is a journey. And that's all I strive to do. And I definitely do it because it is a place of learning. So
yeah, amazing. So how often are you hearing or dealing with people with like gut issues?
All day, every day. It's an epidemic.
Yeah. Would you say that's like top 3 of issues that people are?
I would say, well, let's just say it plays a role in almost every issue.
Okay.
I would say whether you're talking blood sugar, cardiovascular health, memory, mood, focus, anxiety, depression, sleep, hormones, autoimmune, it doesn't matter. The gut plays a role.
So would you say like gut is like the foundational, like, is that kind of where you guys start, is like, do you have a healthy gut? And from there we can recommend certain supplements?
Sure. I mean, it should be something that's looked at with every person for every issue. I mean, we get into, you can in herbalism and natural medicine provide the same model that a doctor does, just without prescriptions. You can do a this for that.
Right.
You have pain and inflammation, here's turmeric. Oh, you have gastrointestinal issues, here's fennel, here, whatever. So it can be a this for that, or it can be why do you have a headache? Well, have you pooped today? Yeah. There's a good chance there's some constipation if there's headaches. There's a good chance there could be parasites. There could be, dehydration issues, but it's getting to the why rather than the here's this for that.
Right. Interesting. Okay. What would be some signs people would have of like a disrupted GI tract or like microbiome?
Yeah, outside of just the obvious like gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, acid reflux, outside of the obvious, these are obvious gut issues. Right. All those things that I just said. If you have hormone disruption, you probably have gut issues. There's only one way that excess hormones leave the body, and that's through the bowels. So So if you're not pooping regularly,
I didn't
you're
know
not
that.
excreting excess testosterone, excess estrogen, excess progesterone, you're going to have those hormonal imbalances. So hormone issues, like I said, any autoimmune. If you have autoimmune, you have some level of gut issues. All autoimmune starts in the gut. I don't care if it's rheumatoid arthritis, MS, lupus, eczema, psoriasis. There's some gut component there.
Wow. And is a lot of that, like when we say gut issues, we're kind of, is there like a specific thing like the leaky gut? Is that like?
Yeah, I would say leaky gut and maybe low diversity of bacteria or not enough diversity of bacteria. In the case of like autoimmune and allergies and arthritis, eczema, psoriasis, things like that, even like thyroid disease, what happens when the gut becomes permeable? Sorry, I'm kind of shaky and like fidgety.
Okay.
When the gut becomes permeable, food particles can travel outside of where they should be contained,
right? And
they go into the bloodstream, and the body will create an autoimmune reaction. Now, your genetics are different than my genetics, are different than so-and-so's genetics. They say even with twins even raised in the same house, in the same environment, identical twins only share about 30% of their microbiome. Your microbiome is like your fingerprint. It is so different person to person. So I could have leaky gut and you could have leaky gut, and yours could manifest in a completely different way than mine. You could have anxiety and depression issues, and I could have arthritis, neurological issues, things like that. So, but when these food particles are in the bloodstream and the body creates antibodies towards them, a lot of these proteins are similar to other proteins in our body. So, for example, in the case of like thyroid disease, so let's say you eat a sandwich and that sandwich has gluten, obviously, because it's bread.
Right.
And there's a 33 strain chain of amino acids in gluten, and you have that exact same 33 strain chain of amino acids in your thyroid. So now you eat that sandwich and you have leaky gut, and the body starts attacking that gluten. Whoa. It's not going to differentiate between that 33 strain chain of amino acids in the gluten and in your thyroid, and you're going to start creating antibodies towards the thyroid.
Whoa.
Enter Hashimoto's.
Whoa.
So, and that happens with lots of proteins in the body. So you could have skeletal muscle pain, joint pain, because the proteins in your body are being attacked by your own body.
Wow. Okay.
So keeping those tight junctions of the gut kind of sealed off is wildly important.
With, man, that's great. I'm thinking about so many people, especially my mom. I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom.
Does she have thyroid issues?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. And just, it's like our parents' generation. It's just, they got totally had. We're
all getting had in different ways.
Yeah, totally. The only difference now, like, our generation is we have the internet.
We have information readily available.
Like definitely tilted the scales. But like, parents' generation, there's no internet. So
there's also like misinformation, because there's so much information. There's also so much misinformation, and weeding through it for people can be so hard.
Oh yeah, it's definitely confusing. I still get had where I'm like, oh my gosh, oh man, wait, what? This is some like AI something.
I always got to read the comments in any article I read, because I'm like, that sounds true. I've got to believe that. And then you find out what all the naysayers are saying, so you can be more objective instead of as trusting as I am.
Yes. A lot of information, but a lot of misinformation for sure. With a leaky gut, if they're like, okay, I want to put some emphasis and attention on my gut and healing my gut, what do you recommend for people as far as supplements, lifestyle changes, dietary changes? What's kind of like a roadmap?
Yeah, so you can use this model that I've heard that rhymes, and so it's kind of fun, like the weed, seed, feed kind of model, where first of all, you're weeding out all the things that can cause gut dysbiosis or gut permeability. So antibiotics are like the number one destroyer of the gut.
Yeah, like the gut lining. I know it's the microbiome for sure.
Yeah.
But also like the lining.
Well, and let's quickly talk about what your microbiome is, because your microbiome, we think about just the gut, but you're covered in microbes. Your skin, your ears, your nose, your throat, your eyes. But when you're talking the gastrointestinal system, that's from your mouth to your anus, right? Okay. Full of microbes, different microbes that thrive in a different pH. Your mouth is definitely a different pH than your stomach and then your intestines. So oral health is hugely important. If you have leaky gums, like if your gums are bleeding and bleeding every time you brush your teeth, chances are you have leaky gut. Chances are you have leaky brain, because that is a whole
system.
a whole system.
Interesting. Okay.
So like taking care of the gut microbiome as well. But so the weed portion, I mean, get rid of alcohol, mouthwashes, and
I heard that's like
that.
So destructive.
Yeah,
mouthwash with alcohol
kills bacteria.
Yeah.
And antibiotics. I mean, I hear from customers all the time, over and over and over, well, I had to do an antibiotic. I had to do this. And I'm like, well, or the doctor made you think you had to. Because I once had a UTI. This is probably too much information, but I once had a UTI that I let go for 4 months because I refused to take an antibiotic. Now, to be fair, I didn't know the full 4 months that that's what it was.
Got it. Okay.
So I wasn't treating it like that the whole 4 months. And they scare you into telling you it's going to go to your kidneys. And I did feel it in my kidneys at one point, probably at 2 points. But I refuse to take an antibiotic. Why do I hate antibiotics so bad? They're so helpful, right? No, they're not. You are bacteria. You have, and well, to finish, the gut microbiome isn't just bacteria. It's viruses, it's parasites, it's yeast, it's all these pathogens that make us up. And we're 99% pathogens.
Right.
You have 9 bacteria in you for every 1 human cell. So you're 90% bacteria, you're 10% human. Okay, so what does antibiotic translate to? Anti meaning against, biotic meaning against bacteria. When you take an antibiotic and knowing that you're 90% bacteria, you're taking an anti-you. That's
wild.
Goodbye.
That is wild.
You're gone. Anti-Chase.
Yeah.
Right?
That's so interesting, because I've always associated with antibiotics is, oh man, I know I'm going to destroy my gut if I have to take them. But you're putting it in a perspective of, it's like a nuke bomb to your entire being.
To everything. I think I read a study once where they gave like laboratory mice, not 1 round of antibiotics. You're talking 1 dose of a round of antibiotics, and they were instantly diabetic.
Oh.
There's not anything in your body that these microbes are not some way connected to. They make and regulate hormones. They make your digestive enzymes. They make your B vitamins. They make vitamin K. They make antioxidants. They make short chain fatty acids. So you're talking the hub of the health of your entire body.
Whoa.
So antibiotic means anti-you, like, and that. So when we're weeding, to get back to the original question, because I'm digressing, when we're weeding, seeding and feeding, the weeding part is probably the most important part. Getting rid of processed foods, getting rid of antibiotics, chlorinated water, pharmaceuticals, some of which, like I would say, birth control is one of the ones that is the most harmful to the gut. So now people are going to quit their birth control, and we're going to have a lot more babies. Thank you, Debbie. No.
Thanks, David. We need more. We need more kids.
More little children.
Yeah, we do.
No. So getting rid of all the things, clearing out pathogens, like maybe doing a parasite cleanse, a yeast cleanse, like doing the weeding so that the gut has a fighting chance of actually healing. Yeah. And then seeding. So putting in the good things like, the probiotics, the probiotic rich foods, the kefir, the sauerkraut, the kimchi. Yeah. And then feeding, which is fiber. There's only 3 things, period, end of story, that the beneficial bacteria in your stomach eat. That is fiber, resistant starches, and polyphenols. So this makes a case against the true carnivores that do nothing but carnivore.
Yeah. That was me for a year.
Yeah, and I did the vegan vegetarian route for like 8 years. Like, I mean, I think when you get in this health space, you try a lot of different things.
Oh yeah.
And I do believe that there's so many healing, things in organ meats and grass-fed meats and hunted meats. We were talking earlier about how I got a deer with my bow last year.
First year.
Yeah.
First year bow hunter killed a deer.
Like a champion.
Which is like a 1%, top 1%.
I was pretty proud of myself. But I don't even know what we were talking about.
Just like the gut and like kind of where to start people of like if they have leaky gut, like
I got it. We were talking about how like it goes against a full carnivore diet because you cannot feed those beneficial bacteria unless you give them plant foods. That is all they eat. Fiber, resistant starches, and polyphenols, which all come from plants, which you sell CBD, you're in the industry, CBD full of polyphenols. And we know it happens to be really good for the immune system, which 70% of your immune system is in your gastrointestinal system. Okay. And we know it's really good for the neurological system. And most of the neurological system is in the gastrointestinal system also. So it's a plant full of polyphenols and they gobble that shit up. Right. They love polyphenols.
So that's where like sauerkraut and kimchi, because I typically eat like 3 to 5 different types of like fermented vegetables every night. Like I'm a fermented vegetable lover.
Yeah.
Addict, actually.
Good. Yeah. Because as much diversity as you can get. So in that feed portion, it's not just getting fiber, polyphenols, and resistant starches. It's getting a variety and as much variety as you can because we have trillions. The number is hard to imagine. Right. Actually, this one guy that I follow will be, which he's got really good information. He's a gastro something in that world. But he says if you took the cosmos and put them 100 of them in your gastrointestinal system, that's how many you would need. 100 of our universes. That's what our microbiome is. It's trillions. It's incomprehensible. So you have trillions of bacteria and they all like different things. And so if you're like, oh, I eat tons of fiber, I eat beans, which are bar none one of the best sources of fiber, but that's all you eat. Right. You don't have the diversity to feed all of those bacteria. It needs to be diverse fibers.
Got it. Okay.
And 30, I would say the goal would be to get 30 different fibers in.
Oh, wow.
At least a week. As many different fruits and vegetables as you can.
Wow. Okay. So interesting. Yeah. It's kind of, maybe it's like overwhelming, but also like perspective shifting when like you realize yes, you are this being, but then you also have trillions of other little beings inside of you that are kind of like, really running the show. So it's like, it's like a perspective shift of like, okay, like, yes, I'm this human being. I like to eat whatever I like to eat. But then adding this other layer of like, well, what do they like to eat?
It's not you. It is them.
Yeah.
It was, I was actually listening to a Huberman podcast where he had a friend that, a scientist that was saying free will does not exist. If you think you as a human have free will, like that decision was made for you before your brain thought to make it because through a chemical reaction through all of the microbiota. They actually made that decision for you. And he's like, I'd like to think that that's not entirely true, but like it makes so much sense when you're only 10% human and 90% pathogen, or not pathogen, but pathogens and beneficial bacteria. They're calling the show. The yeast wants sugar.
That's probably the best example is the candida.
Yeah.
That crave for sugar or something sweet. Yeah. Like that's just it's a
little
bacteria and they're pulling the little strings and
it's not you that wants the ice cream at night, it's them. And so if you're
that's trippy to think about.
Yeah. You're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. So, wow, okay, cool. So where do I think we touched a little bit on like prebiotics and probiotics.
Yeah.
But like what's the difference between the two, and like
Sure.
where do those fit in like the overall health, wellness, healing of the gut?
I'm going to add one more to that, the postbiotics.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
in on that?
Nope.
Yeah, okay.
Nope.
So probiotics, I think most of us know probiotics are the bacteria. They're the beneficial bacteria.
Yep.
And prebiotics are the food for the bacteria.
Yep.
So, and again, like we talked about, they're going to eat fiber, polyphenols, and resistant starches.
Okay.
So like when you say a resistant starch, like if you make rice and then you cool it down, it becomes resistant. It's no longer like this carbohydrate that raises blood sugar. It's a carbohydrate that is resistant to being broken down by your gastrointestinal system. And so the bacteria have to break it down. Like you don't make the enzymes to break it down, let's say that, because your bacteria are your gastrointestinal system.
Okay.
But you yourself as a human don't make enzymes to break down a lot of these prebiotic fibers. So a prebiotic fiber, you'll hear it called just that, prebiotic fibers, fermentable fibers, undigestible fibers, resistant starches. They're all synonymous for they feed beneficial bacteria.
Okay.
So, and then the postbiotic is what those bacteria make from the food that you give them. So
okay, so that's a whole nother
or to make it sound nice, they're the metabolites of the bacteria are ultimately what we want. It's not really the bacteria that we're seeking out. We want them to eat and then produce metabolites that are useful to us, like glutathione, B vitamins, vitamin K, short chain fatty acids. These short chain fatty acids that they produce, there's 3 in particular that the beneficial bacteria in your stomach produce: acetate, propionate, and butyrate. Butyrate being the one that most people have heard of, but butyrate is a short chain fatty acid that promotes cell proliferation in the gastrointestinal system. So the cells literally start to heal and replicate. It also can travel outside of the gastrointestinal system and systemically bring down inflammation. Short chain fatty acids have been shown to kill cancer cells.
Wow.
So if we're feeding those bacteria, they're going to work for us. And as gross as it sounds, their poop is what we want.
Yeah,
but their
totally.
poop is all of these. Their waste products are good for us. It's kind of like plants. We live in this symbiotic relationship. Our waste, we breathe out in oxygen. We breathe out carbon monoxide, right? Dioxide. And that is what they enjoy. Our waste is good for them, and they put off oxygen for us, which is their waste. So same thing, the waste from these bacteria is beneficial to us. We're all living in this symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, that's really cool to think about. I never heard about the post.
Oh yeah.
Which is the way that you're explaining it. I'm like, yeah, of course, that makes total sense.
Yeah, there's some great companies like Dr. O'Hara's who they've been making a pre, pro, and postbiotic for as long as I've been in the health and wellness space, but they just take vats of food that they ferment they've got 2 formulas. One's a 3-year formula, one's a 5-year formula.
Whoa.
They ferment it for that many years. And so you're getting all of the microbes built up, but in 3 years, they're pooping a lot.
Wow.
So you get all those postbiotic metabolites as well. But most companies are adding a postbiotic now.
Oh, cool.
And even if they're not, they're definitely been adding prebiotics for a long time.
Okay. Amazing. Wow.
And not just, it isn't just the stuff that they poop, also their exoskeletons also. So when they die, those have some benefits for us as well.
Interesting.
So that's ultimately what we want.
Wow.
Is the postbiotics.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Wow. You're just a vault of knowledge. I love it.
I might be making stuff up. You'll have to go verify.
All right. So I feel like that covers definitely like pre,
pro, and post.
Okay. Awesome. And then where do like antacids and laxatives, like what are those doing to our guts?
Yeah, this is so tricky because like everybody deals with this. So like it's educating people every single day on this subject because Let's first talk about like what causes antacid, because people are under the misconception that they have too much stomach acid, and that's almost never the case.
It's too low.
It's always too low.
Yeah, I've started to hear that on podcasts lately.
Or there's a problem with the cardiac sphincter. So this that attaches to your esophagus that opens up.
Yep.
It's called the cardiac sphincter because it's next to the heart, but it opens up to allow food to enter into the stomach. So think of the stomach like this, like a witch's cauldron. And it's got this low bubble because there's nothing in it. But once you drop the frog in, it starts to boil and bubble and toil and trouble, right?
Right.
So one of the main causes of acid reflux is grazing. Where you eat, like it's Saturday morning, I've got chores to do. I get out some chips and salsa, some carrots and hummus, and I load the dishwasher and I eat a little, and then I run upstairs and load the laundry and I come back and I eat a little.
It's my weekend right there.
Right?
Literally my weekend.
We're meant to eat a meal, let that food in, close that cardiac sphincter so that the digestion, when it's underway, is contained. But if you keep grazing and you keep opening up that cardiac sphincter, that little flap, you're going to get heartburn because digestion is in full-blown go mode. So acid is going to come up. So that's one reason. Another reason why people would get acid reflux that has nothing to do with how much acid they have is just eating too late at night.
Okay.
If you eat past 7, I think we all kind of know we're not really supposed to eat late into the night.
Yeah.
I mean, for multiple reasons. When you're going into repair mode and sleep mode, you want cortisol to fall off. You want melatonin to come onto the scene. Well, if you're staying active, if it's like 10 o'clock and you're eating a steak and or whatever it is you want to eat, you're keeping cortisol high because you're keeping the body in active awake mode, right? So then you're going to set yourself up for sleep issues and blood sugar issues and whatever. So there's more to it than just acid reflux. But people that eat late at night, well, then you go and you lay on the couch or you go to bed and you're getting horizontal.
Right.
That the digestion is in full mode again, right? And so gravity is going to make that flap come up because there's a lot of heaviness and a lot of activity going on. So a lot of people that I talk to about acid reflux, they only suffer at night. So it's an easy fix. Well, don't eat at night.
Right. Okay.
Or don't eat too late at night.
Right.
So those are two reasons for acid reflux that have absolutely nothing to do with acid. Another one would be, I would say, lack of minerals. So these sphincters, I mean, they're like muscles, right? They can contract. And so this is what calcium does in your body. This is what magnesium does in your body. If you want stuff to contract or if you want stuff to loosen, you have to have both of those. So good case in point is the heart. We want the heart to pump. If we have a lot of calcium, no magnesium, the heart is going to be hard. That's going to set you up for heart attacks and strokes, right? Well, the cardiac sphincter is a muscle also. It needs minerals to function properly, the calcium, the magnesium, so that it has pliability and movability. So I would say sometimes people might have too much calcium, which is probably mostly the case. I don't think people are generally low in calcium. Magnesium is what we're mostly deficient in. And the statistics are 75 to 85% of Americans are magnesium deficient. And so you're setting yourself up for like a flap that doesn't work well. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense.
So it's not, again, it has nothing to do with too much acid. It's just your cardiac sphincter is open. So take an antacid. Congratulations, you don't have acid reflux. How are you going to digest your food?
Right.
Your stomach has to be hot and acidic. There's a reason there's a witch's cauldron in here. Right. Like when you have bacon and eggs and a protein shake in the morning and you have no acid to break it down, how does it break down? It's supposed to be largely broken down in the stomach before it gets passed through to the intestines. Right. And so if you don't have acid to do that, well, now comes lunch, and now you add a sandwich and some chips and a kombucha, and then comes dinner, and you add a steak and potatoes and a pile of veggies, and you still haven't digested breakfast or lunch because there's no acid in there. Right. Like, how are you ever going to digest your food?
So is that where insert laxatives?
Well, we need to get the stomach acid balance back. So you need to mineralize so that the cardiac sphincter has a chance. So I would say definitely magnesium, but even a really great electrolyte supplement that has magnesium, potassium, calcium, sodium, and chloride, like a full mineral blend.
Right.
But you need to get that hot acidic stomach. Putting cold constantly in the stomach is really bad for digestion. It's actually hideous for you. In Ayurvedic medicine, they call this your Agni, or your digestive fire.
Okay.
Like if you're throwing water on your fire and then expecting the fire to warm you. Yeah. It's kind of futile.
It's so funny you mentioned that. I had a friend from Morocco that was helping me with the documentary several years ago, and we were one of the first or second times I met her. She was talking about just talking about where she's from and like their culture, our culture, and she's like, it's so interesting in America, like everything is served with ice. Like everywhere you go, is like everything is ice.
In other countries,
and she's like, everywhere else in the world, it's just everything's room temperature.
Right.
And then through the years, listening to podcasts, it's like that seems to be a really big like detriment to your stomach. That I don't know if people are talking about it a lot, but like cold beverages seem to be
cold anything. Honestly, so I know 3 people personally that were raw food vegans, and typically raw food comes with vegan, because if you're doing raw foods, you can't do meats unless you want to eat meat raw, which I know people that do. So that's a thing. But they become raw food vegans that end up with colorectal cancer. Like you're putting foods. We need to give the stomach a fighting chance, and they like warmed foods. They like, you just had Jamie on before me. She's a mushroom expert. Mushrooms have to be cooked.
We've talked a lot about that.
There are so many things that you can't eat uncooked. The Brassiaceae family, the mustard family, try eating cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, kale, asparagus. Like they're so hard on the gastrointestinal system, and you get people that are like, well, what about the nutrients lost in cooking? Well, sprinkle on some mustard powder after, you're adding it all back. It's the same family. Like, but these foods are so hard for our gastrointestinal system to break down. We have to cook a lot of our foods. And so adding the cold in, even in the form of foods like fresh fruits and vegetables, strictly, that can be really detrimental too.
Wow.
But long-term antacid use is also associated with colon cancer.
Really?
Why? Because you've got all this food in the gastrointestinal system that can't break down. And so that causes a problem there. It causes a dysbiosis of the bacteria. So if you are someone that is on antacids, you are someone that is on antacids habitually. Like if you've ever known someone that takes antacids, they carry them in their pocket, in their purse, every meal. You have to have them with every meal, because you're going to cause trouble with every meal. But it's habitual, because if you don't have that stomach acid to break down your food, you are going to cause problems. You'll never have food to be able to break it down. So you set yourself up for SIBO.
SIBO.
Which is small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. So if you think of the gastrointestinal system like an assembly line, but in reverse, it's a deassembly line. And you're at the front of the line, and then there's me, and then there's, let's say, Talon, because she's associated with you, like all these people, right? And Talon's supposed to, deassemble her part of the food before she passes it on to you, before you pass it on to me. But it doesn't get done in the stomach, and it gets passed down into the intestines, whole food that's not supposed to be there.
Right.
Then the bacteria have all this food to eat that they should never have had to eat, and now they become chubby.
Interesting.
And so you have this great overgrowth of bacteria, which is gas, constipation, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, brain fog, skin eruptions. Like the list is a mile long. I think most people get classified with IBS when it's actually SIBO, in my opinion. But a whole, stay away from antacids. So the number one thing you do there is minerals, so that stays closed, eating at the right times, not grazing. But then a cute little herb called cayenne. Just in every kitchen. Does everyone have cayenne?
Yep.
They fed dogs, like in one study, like hundreds of different foods to see what produced hydrochloric acid the fastest. And that's the kind of acid that's in our stomach that digests our food.
Right.
And cayenne like instantly produces hydrochloric acid.
Interesting.
And it's hot. So now you're getting that heat and that acidity. And because of that heat and acidity, you're going to aid in nutrient absorption as well. Anything that comes in is going to get absorbed real well. There's a lot of herbalists that put cayenne in every formula just for absorption.
So interesting.
So you need that acid.
Wow.
Get that acid back.
Yeah. It was always kind of like antacids. I've always been like, that doesn't really make sense because like you need the acid to break down your food.
Yeah.
So like, why are we trying to neutralize that?
Because it's so painful for people and they want a quick fix and they don't know. They feel like acid's coming up. That must mean I'm just like brimming with acid, right? No, you've got a flap that's not closing.
You need some electrolytes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. It's so funny.
It makes sense if you don't understand the mechanisms.
Yeah. I mean, the way you're explaining it, it's just like, duh. Like every doctor in Western medicine should be equipped with this like it's like, the way you're articulating it sounds basic, but I know there's a lot of like schooling and studying that you've done to like articulate it that way, but it's like, yeah, this is all like common sense, logical.
But until you know, you don't know.
Yeah, totally.
And people trust their doctors, but doctors can only use the tools in their tool bag, and the tools in their tool bag are surgery and pharmaceuticals. Yeah. And so they're just going to hand you a pharmaceutical.
Yeah, that's the foundation of all, really Western medicine is petroleum-based chemistry.
It's like malpractice. My mom just was really sick with that nasty flu that was going around. And I wish I had taken more time to help her heal because I took over like a ton of stuff and then found out that she really wasn't using it all because she was like, well, what was that for? And what was this for? And my boyfriend was like, you can't people don't know everything. Like, like how to use this and that and the other. And so you go and you drop off all this stuff. And then, she's like, well, I don't know with any of it. And I thought I had explained it all to her, but she's also 86 and, she was really, really sick. And so she had gotten a hold of her doctor who was out of town, and he said, please go to the emergency room because she is old and she had diarrhea with this virus for like days and days and days and days. And although I took her lots of electrolytes, he felt better sending her to the emergency room. So I just texted her and I said, please, for the love of God, don't let them give you an antibiotic and don't let them give you a flu shot. She refused the flu shot. They gave her an antibiotic. Like malpractice. Like I seriously want to sue someone. She's still suffering. It's weeks and weeks later. She's sick. She's nauseous. She has a flu virus. Do antibiotics work on viruses? No, they work on bacteria. We just went over that. Antibiotic is antibacteria. That is malpractice, and they do it all day long. All day long.
That's just,
they're using the tools in their tool bag and they can charge you for them. And I don't think doctors are bad people. I think they went into medicine to be good people, to help people. It's just unfortunate the umbrella and the powers that be that control how they can practice medicine. They're using the tools in their tool bag and they're faulty tools.
I totally agree. It puts good-will intentioned people into this system that, they exit just being.
It does harm when they're supposed to do no harm.
Correct. It's like the opposite of their Hippocratic Oath.
The exact opposite.
And it's like, wait, you said do no harm, but like you just gave me
something that's only going to do harm.
It's bizarre. We live in a bizarre world right now.
It's
but
frustrating.
It's like, it seems like it's all correcting. I ended up middle of last year, ended up getting malaria.
I remember that.
Ended up in the hospital for 4 or 5 days. And, thank you, Western medicine, for,
saving your life at the time that you needed it.
Yeah, literally, like things were happening to my body and that I just didn't even know were possible with, malaria is evil. And, but one thing that was interesting, as I was in there, they're swapping out nurses. So I got to like meet a whole bunch of different nurses as I was in there, as they were changing shifts. And there was like a really interesting common thread between all of them, where a lot of them, and they were all younger. So I don't know if it's like the new generation that's getting into the medical system, but it's like all of them knew they didn't have all the tools to like help treat people. And I was pretty shocked at the number of ladies I talked to that were looking at kind of exiting that system and getting into like more natural homeopathic medicine.
Yeah.
Which is like cool, like
it's such a waste of training.
Yeah. And it's just awesome to see sad. Like this kind of like correction or pendulum that's swinging away from like, the Western medicine pills world to like, maybe there's like better things happening that I can be educated with, of like more natural, holistic, that whole world, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, I agree. We're going good places, hopefully.
Yeah, we are. It's like, it's correcting. And I mean, I love what I'm seeing right now with, RFK and what he's trying to do.
Agreed.
Because it's like, oh my gosh,
another falconer.
Total falconer. Yeah. But it's like somebody is in there at the head of the helm, like actually making positive changes that are going to have huge impacts. I think we'll probably see the impact of what he's doing, probably in the later half of our life, because there's like so much destruction and damage of the system that has just ruined people for generations.
He really cares about health and wellness and people's health and wellness, and he's doing what is actually true and right for health and wellness, as opposed to the guys that has been, this is for your benefit and your health and wellness, given to us by the government. But it's like, no, it's really just for this. Right.
Yeah, that's what's being exposed right now. And it's part of the cultural shift is awakening to what was actually happening behind the curtain. And now the pendulum is swinging back towards, your world and your reality that you live in, which is, plants and herbalism and just, everything you've studied is going to, like, you're the new doctor.
People say that. Thanks for being my doctor. And I'm like, like, I just helped you. Why are you insulting me? No, just kidding. I'm such a brat. I know.
It's like redefining it. We need like a new term for like the new age doctor.
And, there's so many people that like to call themselves healers and stuff like that. And herbalism, I think, is a healing tradition. But ultimately, I just feel like I'm hopefully a vessel of information for people to do their own healing.
Yeah.
And because I'm not in charge of what anyone does with their body. And so I can give them as much, you can get information, and you should, from everywhere. Talk to your doctor. I don't care. Talk to your nutritionist, your friend, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, as annoying and as much misinformation is out there. Like, we have like TikTok people that come in daily, like, I need castor oil, or I need this.
Really?
Like, it's a whole new wave of people that have never entered a health food store, that now that they have, things that are trendy, it's like, it's exposing them to a world. But get as much information as you can from everywhere. And then you have to decide what's right and true for your body. Doctors, you don't work for them. They work for you. You tell them what you want. It's not their job to say, this is what you have to do. They try to, but same with me. Like, I can't tell you this is how you have to live your life. Like, here's some information, do with it what you feel is right and true for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah, that's a good point. That is definitely a good point. Yeah, man, we covered a lot. I think do you talk to people about poop?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to wear buttons around at work that said, "Have you pooped today?"
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and they had a little pile of poop.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's funny. So how much information can we learn from our poop?
A lot.
Or lack of poop?
Yeah, a lot for sure. There's you've heard of the Bristol stool scale.
Uh-huh.
You can look it up, and there's 7 different pictures of poop
Mm-hmm.
and the different forms that they would come in. I think number 1 and number 7 are the 2 probably worst, most detrimental, that if you're pooping in that fashion, you probably need to take some action. Number 1 would be like the rabbit poop, the pellet poop, because that shows a sign of constipation.
Yep.
And constipation, like we've talked about, is, I don't know if we did talk about it. We talked about, we didn't.
Yeah, no.
But we can.
Yeah.
So that's really detrimental. You put at risk for colon cancers and stuff like that. And then on the other spectrum, the watery liquid poop would signify usually some type of pathogen like C. diff or SIBO or parasites or something like that, that is really something that needs to be cleared up. Yeast even. So somewhere in the middle is kind of ideal, but I think it's actually number 2 that is I get it. Number 2. Number 2 is the guy you want. Which is, or maybe it's 3 or 4. I don't remember. You'll have to look at it, but it's basically a log that is well formed, that looks like a sausage, not in clumps. And I'm a big believer, and I've been teaching this for a long time, but I've recently added to it information that I didn't know, because I'm a big believer in 3 bowel movements a day if you have 3 meals a day, because I get asked that all the time. And I ask people all the time, well, are you regular? Oh yeah, I'm regular. I go every other day. And I was like, dude, that's not regular.
You're way off the spectrum.
And different people have different opinions on this. I believe there's waste associated with every meal. So if you eat 3 times a day, you should be pooping 3 times a day. What I have come to add to that I'm going to add to my teaching, is that just because you are pooping 3 times a day does not mean you are not constipated. If your poop 3 times a day is pellet poop,
right,
you're not getting rid of everything that's in there, and you still have some level of constipation.
Interesting.
And by the way, it does tell you a little bit about your bacteria, and how much bacteria you have, and what kind of diversity of bacteria you have too, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but 60% of what you poop is bacteria.
Nope.
Only 40% of that is actual food. It's not all the waste of food that's coming out.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
You have about 6 pounds of bacteria in your gastrointestinal system right now. So, and it dies and is replenished very quickly. Your gastrointestinal lining repairs and replenishes every 3 to 5 days. But yeah, when you poop, you're talking 60% of that is bacteria. So if you're not pooping a lot, maybe you don't have enough bacteria. I don't know. You can still be constipated and still be daily pooping. So it's getting that consistency right as well. You want that nice sausage log.
Yeah. I think about my early days of when I was like not awake and on like this healing path or healing journey. My digestion sucked, and all my poop was number 1.
I've struggled over the years.
Yeah, even still.
It's hard, because even you can eat like a champion, you can do all the things, but are you sleeping properly? Emotions play a role in digestion. There's some things that you just can't control. You can't control the glyphosate. Even if I want to eat 100% organic, glyphosate is everywhere.
Oh gosh, yeah, we're drowning in it.
You can't get away from it. And so, and that just kills your beneficial bacteria. And I'm not saying I do everything perfect, but I'm saying even if I were perfect,
right,
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up on it.
Yeah. Yeah. The glyphosate is just, I think that's another one in 100 years, we're going to look back and be like, what? Like, what were they thinking?
Yeah. CV Sciences, that CBD company, they have, I remember years and years ago, this is from a training like 8 years ago, they were telling us that their raw product, because they grow overseas, that they have to bring it into the States raw. They can't bring it in packaged like their other stuff because it has to be classified or certified here as raw. And so just by coming into the United States unpackaged, it now tests for glyphosate where none of their other stuff tests for glyphosate. And that was like 8 years ago.
Crazy.
And it's like, oh, that was interesting. But we learned that information in a training one time. And I was like, that is just crazy. The amount of stuff that we're exposed to that we don't have any control over, really.
Yeah.
That is detrimental to our health.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like the timeline we're in now is like that awakening of, holy shit, we're living in a toxic chemical soup that you just can't get away from.
Yep.
Like the fragrances, the things you put on your bodies, your clothing, what your clothes leach, what your shoes leak, what what you're leaching from your sheets, fragrances, perfumes,
your carpet.
it's just like, I don't have to like live in a tent in the middle of the forest to like get away from all of it.
Well, you need to go to the forest. That definitely is, there is something to forest bathing.
Shinrin-yoku.
They've done studies on the microbiome, and like these people that live in a bubble that are constantly using sanitizers and stuff, it's just so detrimental to your health. Like, you need your kids to play in the dirt, to have that healthy microbiome. Like, we're within 6 feet of each other. We're sharing each other's microbiome. Like, who you lay down to at night, like next to, you're sharing their microbiome. If you're kissing, you're sharing a microbiome with the person that you're kissing. Like, these are real facts. But forest bathing, you're getting all the microbes of the forest. Jump in that lake, jump in that river, that stream, breathe in the dirt, plant a garden, play in the dirt. That makes for a really diverse, healthy microbiome.
Yeah, it's weird how reality not all of a sudden, but it's like been constructed in a way to just keep you inside. And it's very bizarre. It's like, even I live in a neighborhood, and like the only time I really see people out is when we're at the park.
Right.
But like, when we were kids, it's like, dude, everybody was outside playing, cutting up, doing things. Get outside.
Don't come back till it's dark.
And it's like new generation. It's just everyone's sitting at home. It's like, man, you're just wasting away. You're missing out
under
on
blue lights. Killing everything good about you.
So awesome. This has been so much very good information, and it's probably a little overwhelming. So if somebody wanted to get on a path of like, okay, I'm going to focus on my gut, what would be like a very simple roadmap for somebody to be like, I'm going to start addressing some of my gut issues, or I just want to address my gut and make sure my gut is healthy, because like you were saying, everything's connected to the gut: mood, hormones,
memory, mood, focus, anxiety, depression, sleep. Like, we didn't really talk about the gut brain connection a whole lot, but definitely all of those neurotransmitters are first and foremost produced here. So if anyone comes into me with those issues, it's like, oh, you're not sleeping, you have anxiety, you have depression, let's work on your gut first. 100%. We know that 95% of the serotonin produced in our body is produced in our gut, only 5% produced in the brain. Same with GABA, melatonin, all of these neurotransmitters and sleep hormones and things like that. They're first and foremost produced in the gut, but it's a bi-directional pathway. The gut speaks to the brain speaks to the gut, but it's not unimportant what you put in your mouth. It literally has the ability to change the DNA of the genes, or change the genes of the bacteria in your stomach, which changes your genes, which changes your children's genes.
Wow.
So I would say the number one thing people could do is to do what they will do. Just pick, think back to that weed, seed, and feed model. And like, what's the easiest thing for you to give up? Like, if you can be someone that's like, okay, I'm going to not take an antibiotic ever again, and I'm going to rely on herbal antibiotics,
Mm-hmm.
and which are far less broad spectrum and don't kill everything. They're really good at killing pathogenic bacteria and not beneficial bacteria, which are stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you can get a filter where you're not drinking chlorinated water, fluoridated water, these, pick the things that are easiest for you
Mm-hmm.
so that you're starting somewhere, because it can be overwhelming to be like, oh, that weed list you gave me was a mile long. Like, now I have to do all of that and add all of this. And,
definitely.
So I would pick from those categories of what's the easiest for you to do. And once you start doing better and feeling better and knowing better, then you can take the next step of, okay, that was helpful.
Mm-hmm.
What else can I add to that?
Yeah. I think that's great advice. Because it is overwhelming, and it's just like, okay, how about you just stop using hand sanitizer? Start there, or remove like scents. I think scents is a big one. Fragrances,
it's a huge one. Yeah.
That's another big one. But I mean, the water, when we switch to when we put a lot of attention on water. So like our shower heads, the water we drink, it's like,
I would say that's almost a number one for anyone. Anyone starting on a health journey, filter your water. There's microplastics in there. They filter it, they clean it, and yet we still find pharmaceuticals in there. There's microplastics. The chlorine is horrible for you. Chlorine, again, back to your mom, with thyroid issues, chlorine is a halide. And so halides, another helpful halide that we have in the body is iodine. So you have receptors for iodine in your thyroid. The thyroid cannot run without iodine.
Mm-hmm.
But if those receptors, think of it like a lock and key situation, there's already a key in the keyhole, and that keyhole is chloride or bromine or fluoride, which are all these halides that we come in contact with. Iodine can't get into the thyroid because the keyhole's already full and enter thyroid disease. Right? So I've talked to several swimmers that have thyroid disease. They're in chlorine all day.
Totally. Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then they're like, well, that makes sense. Like, we have to filter our water.
Yeah.
I would say that's a number one.
Yeah. Number one for sure, water.
Because you're bathing in it, you're swallowing it, it's killing microbes, it's adding harmful things. Filtered water.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you are a vault of knowledge, and we're definitely going to have you on a lot more, because we're just like barely scratching the surface, and I could sit here for 4 hours talking to you.
I don't like doing podcasts. They make me nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. There is something weird about it. We're just like cameras and
it's all good.
It's good. You did great. And thanks for your time. I've learned so much from you over the years. Today I'm just like, you put some things into perspective where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so simple. Like, there's a couple of people I'm actually going to call later today and be like, hey, your flap isn't working and you have, digestion issues because you need electrolytes.
Right. Take some magnesium.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so awesome.
Yeah, right back at you.
Thanks. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next one.